What's up, guys? Welcome to a video about a full Warden build guide. I'm going to go over all the possible ways you can build around this character, whether you want to build around gun, ultimate, trap, very diverse character that can be built in a lot of ways. So I'm going to kind of just go over all of the very good items on this character because even depending on what you want to build, a lot of these items are just very good in general for Warden. So this is one of the main builds that I use, which is Deathy's Warden build, and this is a mid-game focused Veil Walker trap, high movement speed build. So you build your hex, your speed, your combat barrier. Let me put flex slots on. And so once you get all of this stuff, and then you can opt for a headhunter. Headhunter is super powerful on Warden because if you trap someone, it's almost guaranteed headshots. Or I mean, it is guaranteed, but so if you have like an early 3000, I would definitely recommend buying a headhunter early because it also gives you movement speed. And so this build, basically, you just stack movement speed. Oh wait, I need to. And so the way you would build this is you always put 2 points into your flask first to get the damage. And then you would probably, you put 2 points in this. And then I think you can either mask flask or max the flask, or you can put a couple points into your ultimate. Because Warden's ultimate is very strong, but you basically just do stuff like this with this build. You see how fast that is? Like, you can go almost anywhere. And so you would look for a target, slowing hex, trap, and then kill them. And so that's very powerful in the mid game because if you trap someone, they're probably gonna die. And so this is a better example of, like, gives you more perspective of how fast you are in the lane right there. So this is one way you can build Warden, and this is more of a gun focused gank. This is a ganking Warden, basically. But you get some stuff like this. And so here are the big items. So Spiritual Overflow is more if you want to do some gun damage. So this is a great item. It gives you fire rate, spirit power, cooldown reduction, and spirit lifesteal, and some shield. And since you're using Veil Walker, shields are very good. Because if you didn't know, if your shields are depleted right here, you can walk through a veil and it'll refresh your shield. So very good item. But you see how fast I'm shooting now? Like, that's a lot of damage. And so you can pick up a Siphon Bullets if you want some more tankiness. So you really want to think about in your games what you need against the enemy team. Like, you got to think about the fights and actively be thinking, what do I need to buy here? And so, like, let's say the enemy team has a lot of good damage dealers. They're putting out a ton of damage, and you need someone needs to be slowing them down and making them do less damage. Then you're obviously going to get this inhibitor, which will give you tankiness, weapon damage, and it'll give you the great ability to slow someone and do damage penalty. So if you trap someone, and this also applies move speed slow right there, so they're going to be very, very slow. Inhibitor is very good on Warden. Siphon Bullets also. This is if you want to opt for if they have a lot of tanks, I would definitely recommend Siphon Bullets because it just steals health from the enemy. Very good. Gives it to you. It basically will make them less tanky and make you more tanky. And this is a very good item if you have high fire rate. And so if you're going to be building Titanic Mag, Swift Striker, Spiritual Overflow especially, you just see, like, the fire rate starts ramping up. Like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, I stole 700. Obviously, this is a bot, and I can just shoot him freely, but pretty good example. And so then Kevlar, this is if you're going for more. I'll talk about Kevlar when I go over an ult build, which I guess I can do right now. And if you guys have any questions about, like, if I didn't explain a certain item or, like, anything like that, just feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll answer. I read every comment. There's not a lot, so you don't really have to worry about me not reading it. But Yeah, so this is my preferred Warden build, and I think this gives you a lot of power in the mid game, and the mid game is usually where the game gets decided. It's where a lot of leads happen. I wouldn't say the game gets decided because every game is winnable. It really only takes one team wipe for the game to be winnable. So, yeah, highly recommend this build. It has a little bit of everything. Like, if you wanted to not opt for like the spiritual overflow and you wanted to get more ultimate value, and so the problem with Warden's ultimate is that it has a long cast time. So the way I try to counteract it without leap, I'll be talking about the ult build soon, but you can do stuff like this. And you can engage with the ultimate like that, because let's say I'm fighting that guy. If that guy sees me doing this, he's just going to run. Like any smart, you guys have seen Wardens do that. Like you just run away. So I'm going to reset my hero. And then I'm going to show the... Here we go. This is the Warden Leap build. So this was the build I used for a long time. This is basically the core of it, is you can do this stuff. So this basically allows you to use your ultimate as an engagement tool because you can use it in the air like that. Very good item. But you basically you buy Fleetfoot and Divine Barrier almost always on Warden. And Headhunter, just because if you trap someone, they're going to get hit by Headhunter. So this is kind of the core of this build. I'll put that there. And then the other core is this Divine Kevlar. But High Velocity Mag, this is really good in lane just to get denies and confirms. It depends on who you're laning against. Like this is, I will always say, don't just follow a build 1-to-1. You need to be, one way I got better at like building my characters is I don't use builds. I'll just like think, okay, what do I need? And then I'll look in the item shop and try and figure out what I need. And this will allow you to, it allows you to diversify how you buy items and stuff, if that makes sense. It allows you to stop following a build 1-to-1. So, but I still do look at my builds and be like, okay, these are the items I want to prioritize, but there's exceptions. Every game is different. That's why this game is so great, is that every game is so different. But these are the early game. Hollow Point Ward is also just so good in lane, like especially if you do good gun damage. It's just a straight buff, and you can keep this later on because that's 22 weapon damage if you're above 60% health. Like, what does this give you? This gives you 25 weapon damage, and this is a 3,000 item. This 500 soul item almost gives you the same amount of weapon damage. But the way that this build works is you jump in the air, ult, pop Fleetfoot, that, and then you're just so fast that you can just run people down. Because Warden's ultimate is extremely strong. People are going to want to run away from you, and you have to realize that. So that's why you're building all of these items to run them down. And I'd build endurance, speed, duration. And so then you start Enchanter's Barrier 2. If you're in lane against like an Infernus or anyone that does high spirit damage, you definitely want to try to pick up this early because you'll get a lot of value just because they're not going to be hitting your white health. They're going to be hitting your purple health, which isn't as valuable as your health. Your barriers recharge a lot faster. But I usually look to get Surge of Power in my ultimate early. But Leap is huge. Leap allows you to use your ultimate to actually like make plays. So you really want to prioritize Leap, and then I'll go for like a Boundless next. Once I get all these items are all core. Like this is a build you can almost follow 1-to-1, unless you can get Kevlar early. If you can get Kevlar early, this is the perfect Warden item because it gives you shield and spirit power. So like, I'm gonna pop my ultimate here. I have 1,000. Yeah, like just look at how much extra health I have. Like, this is extremely hard to kill. And the shields linger too after, so very, very good. get the burst. Burst is huge for Warden because his you're not really looking to hit him with your gun. This cone is what does most of the damage. Like 3,000 damage. That's crazy. You buy reach, put on your ultimate. You imbue everything on an ultimate. Put that. And then you late game, if you have all these items, you can either go Spiritual Overflow or Refresher. And like, Spiritual Overflow is good, but when you only have 17 bolts in the clip, it's not as good. So, but like I said earlier, if you want to diversify your build and not just follow them 1-to-1, you could buy a Titanic mag. And then Spiritual Overflow is huge, and now you have both. You have gun and spirit damage. Yeah, like I would highly recommend doing that. Getting an Titanic mag and spiritual. That's just very. You could skip this pristine emblem, and I do think Healbane's very good because it reduces healing, and a lot of lower elo players don't buy. I'm in Phantom, which isn't like high elo or anything, but people don't even buy Healbane there. Like, if I see they have a really tanky, like, if I see a Haze with a bullet lifesteal, an Abrams, a Shiv, like, I know they're going to be building these lifesteal items. I definitely want to, even against Warden. Warden's ultimate's mostly so good because you get so much lifesteal on it. I'm just full HP, so you can't see it, but Warden's a very good character. Highly recommend him. You could also pick up a Refresher, too, just to get 2 ultimates, because you really are playing. You have 100% hero lifesteal. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. You're playing only around your ultimate, basically, and so the way you skill build this is 2 in here, and you can put 1 in here if you want to. I usually put 1 in here, and then I'll go all the way up to 5 on my ultimate just to get the cooldown reduction, because a minute cooldown reduction is huge. It allows you to every team fight, like, you can just, that's why Warden's so powerful in the mid game, is you just hang around the two middle lanes and just look for fights. And so that's why he's so fun, and like you can get such a lead on this character if you get a bunch of kills with him. And especially with the new update, the new patch, it's November 16th too, by the way. The last patch was last Thursday. But yeah, very strong character, very fun. So that's, you can either build around the ultimate, or you can build like a ganking style Warden, or I was trying out with a little melee Warden. I didn't really like it though. I never finished the build. I think I might still finish it though. I think it could be good with, like, if you have melee charge in your ultimate. I think stuff like this could be good. And then you would definitely spec into like a point blank, yeah. But like, that's why I try to be, I try not to follow builds 1-to-1. I try to think of my own stuff because the game is so new that like people don't really know what they're building yet. Obviously, it's a great build. This hydration ultimate build. Like, this guy, hydration plays this in tournaments a lot. Like, a lot of tournaments. If you watch any tournaments, if you want to get better, I highly recommend watching tournaments and looking what they're building. When those people are trying their absolute hardest and they're maximizing their money to the best of their ability. Good way to get better. Obviously not the best. Oh, here's the point. Yeah. So you'd put 2 in here, 1 in here, and then you go all the way up in your ultimate. The cooldown reduction on your ultimate is just so important. But highly recommend this build. This build's so fun. Not a lot of builds as fun as this, because like when you hit, like, imagine there's people right here. Not a lot of stuff in this game feels better than doing this. Like, just running people down and they just run away from you. Very, very fun. And so then you can also do some gun builds. But like, most of these gun builds are always going to involve slowing hex, because you want to trap someone and then, or slowing hex them and then trap them. So yeah, slowing bullets is good. I'll just go over like the regular items and just, so this is what, if I was trying to make my own build, this is what I would do. Is I've made some builds for some characters as well. I like a Dynamo Wraith. If you guys want me to make a build for this character, I can. I doubt I'll get a comment about that, but if I do, I will. You also don't really need. I don't really need to. There's so many good builds out there. Like that Deathy build, like I would just mostly copy that. I'd probably add some different things. Like I do think slowing shots probably pretty important just to get the trap more consistently. Oop, I don't have a trap. Whatever, I'll get rid of that. Oh my god. But yeah, trap someone. But the slowing bolts, I do think will. I'm gonna try this actually because this was definitely gonna allow you to trap more consistently. Because certain characters do have the ability to get out of the slowing hex if they have enough stamina. Basically, a good rule of thumb is if you can do this, if you can do a dash jump and slide, you can almost always get out of the trap. So you have to. You want to save your trap. You don't want to just immediately throw it on someone. You want to. Oh my god! I don't know why I pressed that. You want to wait a little bit. If you also, early game, if you trap someone, definitely just use your ultimate on them if you have it and just get a free kill. Definitely worth it, especially in lane. Warden's very strong in lane. Yeah, intensifying mag, burst fire. So, like, if you wanted to build a high fire rate, yeah. Like, that's crazy. Oh, I do have spiritual overflow. But, yeah. Oh, what? Vampiric Burst is good. So, like, a lot of ways to build this character. However you want to is good. I would highly recommend the trap build, basically. I'm going to call it trap build. Where you just, veil, like, they all have Veil Walkers, see. You just Veil Walker around like this. What do you, yeah, like, what do you do there? You just die is what happens. But if you didn't know, the flask takes away stamina. So, like, you want to get into the mind of your enemy, and so when they see a Warden, they know that you're going to try and trap them. So like you could throw you do slowing hex and then trap them, but they're gonna have their movement abilities. I don't know. There's ways to do it. It depends on the character, obviously. Like if it's a Mirage, slowing hex immediately and just try and get him, because once he has Tornado, you can't trap him. Same with like Wraith. Any character that has a good movement ability. Dynamo as well. Dynamo can just straight up quantum entanglement out of the trap. Like he's gonna wait for the trap to go like there, and then he's just gonna teleport out of it. Dynamo's broken. I think Dynamo is one of the best gun characters in the game, and I just don't think it's talked about enough because he's mostly played as a support because he has healing, but he's so good. So yeah, that's some of the ways I would build Warden. Yeah, all these items are good, like except for like Sharpshooter. Like you could honestly even opt for like an early Tesla bullet, but you don't have the really clip size for that. Yeah, vitality items. I like Fortitude on Warden. It gives you more just movement speed in general throughout the map, and it gives you some weapon damage. Like usually when you're looking for ganks, you're gonna be full HP, so you're going to be able to take advantage of this 27. That's crazy. 27%. That's ridiculous. Yeah, armors. Siphon bullets is really, really good. This item is very good right now. Yeah, the only really spirit items you want to buy on Warden are Boundless and Kevlar. And if you get Boundless, you definitely want to get Kevlar first. Kevlar is better just because it gives you everything you want. His spirit damage is in his ultimate, so... Yeah, highly recommend these builds. If you guys want me to go more in depth on like a certain thing, I kind of rambled a lot, so I don't know how helpful this was, but I was just trying to really talk about items and stuff and how I like to build this character. But I can definitely go more into depth on a certain build and show like gameplay examples if you guys want that. I just don't know how much of a demand there is for that. But I'll probably end up making a video like that anyway, even if no one comments. So yeah, thank you for watching.